video. Sorry for the interruption. So I'm going to do a little recap from where we stopped so that we can follow up. So I talked about presentation earlier. So I said that presentation is a communication method. Presentation is a communication method. Okay. So when we have something to communicate to people, we can, we use presentation to pass what we intend our audience to know. So there are basic elements that we need to pay attention to when doing a presentation. The first one is the content and the slides. So if you have a presentation, you need to prepare your content. Prepare your content, master your content, research on what you want to present. Then prepare your slides. In preparing your slides, you can use the PowerPoint. Now, it is called PowerPoint for a reason. Why it is called PowerPoint is because what you intend to put there, what you are supposed to put there, should be like bullet points, should be the major points, not a detailed explanation. And that is why you need to master your content first. So in your PowerPoint, you are going to prepare points, bullet points. There should be power in the points. There's a saying that says that because it is called PowerPoint does not mean that there is power in the points. But for your presentation to be effective, your points should have power in it, such a way that when you put out the point, people understand what you are talking about. So there is a formula for preparing your slide. The formula for preparing your slide is ensuring that all your slides are not more than 10 slides. So from everything you want to talk about in that presentation, should not be more than 10 slides, from the beginning to the ending. What that means is that just dish out the points while you are projecting your content. You'll be explaining alongside. Then also the font, F-O-N-T, the font should not be less than 20 so that it can be visible to the audience. They'll be able to see what you are projecting. Now, having said that, we are just going to quickly talk about your voice. Your voice of presentation should be firm, okay? That shows the audience that you know what you are talking about, but should not be disrespectful, okay? You should use a tone of voice that is firm, not arrogant, okay? A tone of voice that understands your audience. A voice that can convince your audience that you know what you are saying and you know what you are passing across to them. So your tone of voice should be modulated. And also, while talking, you should, talk and listen to your audience. You could be talking and then your audience feels like, oh, what you are saying deserves an applause, and they begin to clap for you. All you just need to do is to pause, allow your audience to finish clapping, then you continue your presentation. Then peradventure, while you are presenting, your audience has one or two things to say. Allow them to say, what they intend to say, then you continue your presentation. So pay attention to your tone of voice. Tone of voice that is and that makes your audience to know that you are sure about what you are saying. Also, the next element of presentation that we'll be considering is your body language. Your body language is very, very important when you are doing a presentation. Now, it is not out of place for you to be nervous before you go on for a particular presentation, but you need to know how to manage your nerves and be able to face your audience and behave in such a way that your manner, you behave in such a way that you are able to carry your audience along. Your mannerism should be okay, your gesticulation, there should be eye contact. Your audience will feel connected to what you are saying. So make eye contact with your audience, make appropriate gesticulations, The gesticulations that you are making should not distract what you are saying. The pacing around, your movements should not obstruct your audience view. So remember that while doing presentation, you might be projecting. Okay, that's why we talk about slide. So you should stay in a position where your audience can see what you are presenting. Then apart from that, your body language should exude confidence. And not arrogance. Confidence in such a way that your audience will believe in what you are saying, because there is a way you can say something, your audience might feel like, you don't even know what you are saying, what are you even saying? So let your body language inform your audience that you know what you are saying. That does not mean that you should pose an arrogant posture. Okay, so having said that, we are going to look at authenticity. That's another element of presentation. Now, the first element of presentation that we have mentioned is your content and your slide. Every presentation must have a content, and then you must build a slide for that presentation. Then number 2, we have talked about your voice, your body language. Now we are talking about authenticity. What does it mean by authenticity? What does it mean by authenticity? Authenticity is your presentation should be authentic. It should show that you have researched on what you are discussing. You know what you are saying. You are not just saying something that they cannot relate to. Yeah, thank you so much for the like. So your presentation should be authentic. Now, apart from these elements of presentation, we're just quickly going to look at parts of a presentation. Let's just look at parts of a presentation. Now, every presentation should have 3 parts. The first part is the introduction, the second part is the body of the presentation, and the third part is the conclusion. The introduction is what introduces what you are about to discuss. So your presentation should have at least a little introduction that will inform your audience of what they are about to listen to. So the content, which is the body part, is where you have the main information you want to pass across to your audience. Then also we have the concluding part. After passing across the content, you need to conclude. So these 3 parts are very important in every presentation: introduction, the body, and then the conclusion. Now, aside from this part of introduction, let's quickly look at why do we do a presentation? What is the goal of every presentation? Remember that we said that presentation is a method of communication. Now, the goal of every presentation is to share an information. Whenever you are doing a presentation, you want to share an information. You want people to know a certain thing. So that is the goal of presentation. And at the end of your presentation, you should be able to ask the question, did I share the information that I intended to share? Secondly, to convince. That is another goal of a presentation. You are doing a presentation to convince your audience about a specific. You are doing a presentation to convince your audience about a specific concept. So after doing a presentation, you should ask yourself, no, did I convince my audience about this? Then also, was I able to build trust? When I say build trust, was I able to make my audience come in terms with what I have passed across to them? So those are the 3 major goals of a presentation. Number 1, to share an information. Number 2, to convince your audience about a particular concept. Number 3, to build trust. So we're going to be looking at different factors that can affect an effective presentation. A lot of factors that can affect an effective presentation. Number 1, we have the appearance. Okay, Appearance can be in terms of you doing the presentation. Appearance can be the way your slides are being viewed, okay, the way your slides appear. So now let's talk about the person presenting. If you are doing a presentation, you should pay attention to your appearance. Very important. So when we talk about appearance here, it does not mean that you have to ensure that you put on the most expensive things, or you have to do yourself in such a way that when you come out they know that, oh, you have appeared. No, you are, in doing a presentation, remember that you want to pass an information to your audience. So the concentration should not be too much on you. You appear in such a way that the concentration is not on you but on what you are saying. Your appearance does not distract your audience. You don't put on things that will distract your audience from what you are saying. You appear in such a way that you are minimal with your dressing, you are minimal with your makeup, you are minimal with your look, and then what you are saying, your audience pays attention to what you are saying. So personal appearance is very important. The way your slides look is also very important in doing the presentation. The visuals is another factor that can affect an effective presentation. Visuals, use of pictures, okay? If you employ good visuals, if you employ good pictorial way of demonstrating what you are saying, it can affect your presentation in a good way. But in a situation where you compact your slides with pictures and you do it in such a way that it distracts the audience from what you are communicating to them, it can affect it in a negative way. So you can keep your visuals minimal also. Let the visual sync with the points that you are giving. Also, the next thing is audience analysis. Audience analysis. Good morning, Dan Butler. Good morning. Okay, good morning. Yeah. So the next thing about the factors that can affect an effective communication is your audience analysis. When you are making a presentation, you also need to listen to your audience. You might be saying something, and all of a sudden there's an opera. Somebody is saying something. You need to listen to what your audience is saying. You need to pay attention to your audience, and you need to be able to manage your audience and put everything they are saying in a way that it syncs with the presentation you are making to your audience. Now, the next thing is communication. You need to communicate your content. The content of your presentation must be communicated effectively. So that's another factor. The next factor is the environment. The environment of your presentation. The environment of your presentation can affect your presentation in a great deal. If the environment is not conducive, your audience will not feel relaxed. They will not be in a position where they will listen to you very well. They will be distracted. And also, if the environment of your presentation is not conducive, you might end up having a poor presentation, or your presentation can even be cut short. So pay attention to the environment of your presentation. If you're having a presentation, ensure that the environment is conducive, is in a way that at least your audience can pay attention to what you are saying, and everything that you need for that presentation is in place. So there are different types of presentation. We have the visuals, we have storytelling, we have instructional type of presentation. We also have the free form type of presentation. We also have the coaching form of presentation. So in order not to make this live so long, so that if people are playing it back, it will be easy for them to listen to it, I'm just quickly going to wrap up this live video on presentation by discussing the 6 steps for effective presentation. So there are 6 basic steps for effective presentation. If you want to have an effective presentation, which I've tried to employ before I came on this live video, the first step is you need to prepare carefully. Okay, prepare carefully. What do I want to talk about? What do I want to present? Prepare carefully. Research if you need to research. Get your content, get your facts right. That's the first step for an effective communication. So the next step for an effective communication is use visuals wisely. Remember that when we are discussing about presentation elements, the first one that we talked about was our content and our slides. And we also discussed that in using your slides, you can make use of your visuals. But for your presentation to be very effective, ensure that you are using the visuals wisely. So when we say use visuals wisely, your pictures, the pictures that you are applying to your presentation must sync with the points that you are saying. Number 3, consider the audience. Consider your audience when you are doing a presentation. Who is my audience? Am I talking to children? Am I talking to adults? Am I talking to people that are aged? You need to consider your audience. Am I talking to management personnel? Am I talking to students? Am I talking to, entrepreneurs? Whoever you are relating with, you need to pay attention to your audience. So it is your audience that will determine how you will go about the presentation. The content, your audience is what will determine the content, is what will determine your tone of voice too, your body language, how you analyze your audience comments and the like. So consider your audience, very important. Number 3, practice with a friend. Now, whenever people are doing presentation, one of the things that we notice is that people are nervous. Okay, before you go on for a presentation, your nerves might be playing some role, trying to make you feel like, can you really do this? Are you sure you are ready for this? Okay, so for you to overcome that, present it to your mirror. Try and talk to your mirror, explain to your mirror what you want to present. So that will help you to be familiar with what you want to present before the actual presentation. Now, the next thing that we want to talk about is be positive. You need to be positive, okay? Tell yourself, I can do this presentation. I can do it, and I can do it perfectly. I can do it well. Don't think that anything will go wrong. Most people, when they want to do presentation, they'll be like, oh, what if something goes wrong? What if I get there and I forget what I want to say? That's why you have slides, okay? The points to help you remember. So be positive. Be positive about your presentation. Very important. Then the next thing is, don't rely on technology. Now, technology is very good, but don't rely solely on it. Now, when we're talking about the elements of presentation, we talked about the content and the slides, you building your slides so that you can project it to your audience. Another way that you can ensure that your presentation goes smoothly is, even though you have planned your slide, ensure that you also have a backup, okay? You can also print out the content so that in case there is power failure or there is a technical issue, you can fall back to your printed copy of your content. So with this, I'm going to be ending this slide here. Thank you very much for joining this live. In case you come across this video when the live has also ended, please do well to watch, support my channel, like the live video, like my video, watch my other videos, and drop your comments, and I will see you in my other videos. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dan Butler, for joining this live. Thank you very much. Okay, bye for now.